episode 16, Trev's Wrestling Show, here on Trev TV. I'm the Trev. You know that. If you're tuning in, if you're watching. That's too sweet. Anyway. I gave myself a challenge. And I'm sure a lot of other people in YouTubeville have given themselves the same challenge, trying to predict the G1 Climax. Now, it's not as easy as one would suggest. If you're unfamiliar with G1, with the tournament itself, it's basically, in a nutshell, it's a tournament held by New Japan. It usually goes for a month and a week, give or take a couple more days, where you have wrestlers in two blocks normally. So there have been exceptions in past tournaments. I think it was early in the 2000s, they had 4 blocks of 5 wrestlers. Normally it is 20 wrestlers, but there have been exceptions at that as well. And they're given points based on wins. 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. Whoever comes out with, on both blocks, with the most points, wrestles each other in the tournament final. The winner of that gets a shot at the IWGP World Championship at Wrestle Kingdom in January. Now, Wrestle Kingdom, if you're unfamiliar, is like the equivalent to WrestleMania, only for New Japan. Now, over the weekend, the blocks were announced, and yesterday, the match cards were announced. Now, I'm not going to try and predict every match. I'm going to go over some of where I think you'll want to pay a little more attention to as far as matches are concerned. And I'll I'll attempt to give my prediction to how your final is going to shape up. I might even attempt to pick a winner. But this is why I say it's a bit of a challenge. As I said, over the weekends, the blocks were announced. So without any further ado, here's Block A. Here's Block B. Again, if you're unfamiliar with G1 Climax, basically everybody in Block A wrestles everybody in Block A. So one guy has 9 matches. Everybody in Block B wrestles everybody in Block B. So one wrestler has 9 matches. And again, it's based on points. The guy with the most points in Block A wrestles the guy with the most points in Block B at the tournament final, which is usually held later, obviously. As I said, it's normally a month and a week, give or take a couple days. And it's not all continuous. It's not all condensed on one day after the other. They give themselves some breaks. But I'm going to go over some of the interesting matches from when the tournament starts to the day before the finals. So night 1 of the G1 starts July 6th. Yeah, I know. It's a little ways away yet, but ain't nothing wrong with going in with pre-height, I guess. And for the first time ever in G1, the tournament starts outside Japan. Night 1 starts in Dallas, Texas. As the observer, and obviously as a guy who's not going to be in Dallas, Texas to watch this, I think they were given the wrong block. Or if anything, they should have had July 6th as Block A, July 7th as Block B, and then went back to Japan. But I don't decide these things. New Japan does. But either way, I mean, Block A is not terribly weak. There are actually some good names in Block A. And for the first night of the tournament, the first couple matches here that I'm looking at, don't mind the ticks. I've been asking Melissa for her predictions. The first night actually has some interesting matches. Kota Ibushi versus Kenta. If you're unfamiliar with Kenta, I'm pretty sure I've explained this in my Dominion reaction video. Kenta was Hideo Itami in NXT/205. Normally, in Japan, he was known for wrestling in Noah, not New Japan. This is his first time competing under a New Japan contract. Now, since it's Kota Ibushi, who is known for taking sick and disgusting bumps anyways, matched up against Kenta, who I'm sure is given free reign now to do everything he was doing in Noah and wasn't allowed to do in NXT. That's going to be a sick match, I think. Then you have Kazuchika Okada versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now these guys, if you know your New Japan history, they go back. They've got rivalry. Plus they're also on friendly terms now. But being it is for G1, that could be... That was a hard one to call. I mean, I don't want to go into this thinking that there will be too many draws, but this could be a draw. Just because it's hard to really pick a winner. And then you have Zack Sabre Jr. versus Sonata. Now, I, like many have said, Zack Sabre Jr. is your best technical wrestler alive today. Sonata, yeah, he's not much. I don't want to discredit him in any way, shape, or form. But going against Zack Sabre Jr., that could be a no-doubter as far as that's concerned. Night 2 takes place January 13th in Tokyo. And this is where you have the start for Block B. Hiroki Goto versus Jay White. Now, I don't know what they're doing with Jay White. I don't know if they're starving him away from a push or if this is the start of another good push for Jay White. Because if you remember, he was the IWGP champ earlier in the year. Maybe. Because he had that feud with Tanahashi last year over the G1 briefcase. Maybe this is where they're going to push White, finally. I don't know. Juice Robinson versus Takagi. Now, Takagi has one loss to his name. Juice Robinson, they're doing something different with him. Like, they're giving him a bit more edge that I'm noticing. And it could be interesting to watch him going forward. But the match everybody, I'm sure, is paying money to see on night 2 is Jon Moxley versus Taichi. And it's not so much because it is Taichi as much as it is Moxley. Like, I'm actually worried about what New Japan is going to do with Moxley. I don't think they're putting the reins on him at all. I think they're giving him a certain degree of creative, but it's guaranteed it's not the same Jon Moxley you were watching at Combat Zone Wrestling. But either way, those are your first matches for Block A, Block B. I'll go over the rest of the tournament matches. I'm not going to predict them all. Not here anyway. But like I said, I'm just going to go over some of the more interesting matches that you might want to watch. For night 3, and this is back to Block A, it alternates A, B, A, B, A, B. Tanahashi versus Kenta. That should be interesting. The rest of the card doesn't look so bad either. You know, you got Ibushi versus Evil. You got Okada versus Sabre Jr. Melissa thinks Okada's going to walk all over this. And I'm not saying that won't happen. I'm not disagreeing with her at all. But keep in mind, Okada is the IWGP champ. So if he wins this whole thing, is he going to lose the belt somewhere? Or is he just going to fight himself at Wrestle Kingdom? Night 4 in Sapporo. You got Naito versus Taichi. That'll be a fun one. You also have John Cobb versus Jon Moxley. Jeff Cobb. God damn. That could be a very, very brutal match. Just saying. Night 5, July 18th. Hirokin, Kota Ibushi versus Will Ospreay. Ain't nothing quite like Wrestle Kingdom rematches. If you remember this one, Ibushi got hurt thanks to Ospreay. I'm not saying Ospreay was sloppy, because there's really no room for sloppiness in Japanese wrestling, but hopefully he comes out okay. Then you got Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. Evil versus Sonata. Ain't nothing quite like stablemates and former tag team champs going at one another. I'm curious how that one's going to turn out. Night 6 at Kurokan. Got Tomohiro Ishii, the never openweight champ, against Jon Moxley, the IWGP US champ. Again, could be intense. Juice Robinson versus Jeff Cobb. Ooh. And then night 7, July 20th, at Korakuen, Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay. Again, stablemates. Kota Ibushi versus Sonata. That'll be fun. Kenta versus Evil. That could be a particularly evil match. And no pun intended. Night 8 at Hiroshima. Back to Block B. Jon Moxley versus Shingo Takagi. I don't think Moxley's going to walk all over this tournament. He'll go far. He'll get points. But at some point, maybe he might just lose a match. I don't know if Takagi will be it, but it could be. It could very well be. Jeff Cobb versus Jay White. That'll be a fun one. Night 9, back to Block A in Nagoya. Kazuchika Okada versus Kenta. Basically anything with Kenta or Moxley is worth paying attention to. But at the rate you're getting all the good names fighting Kenta and fighting Moxley, you're in for a sick tournament. Will Ospreay versus Bad Luck Fale. I don't think Fale is going to do a lot of damage in this tournament, but I don't think he's going to be a slouch. I don't think he's going to be a pushover. Night 10, Block B, Nagoya. And this is the match I'm having a hard time picking a winner on. Naito versus Moxley. Ooh. There might be blood. Night 11, back to Block A. Kenta versus Sonata. Maybe Kenta is the one that walks through this whole tournament. Maybe. Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. Anytime you have these two in a match, you're in for a very good match. With Ospreay's light heavyweight style, with Zack Sabre Jr. again being one of, if not the best technical wrestlers on the planet. Oh. Night 12, back to Block B, going on April 1st in Fukuoka. Naito versus Juice. I think that one's going to be a Naito win, but maybe this is the part where Juice breaks. Without getting ahead of myself and predicting heel turns. Who knows? Jon Moxley versus Toru Yano. Don't even need me to predict that one, I don't think. August 3rd in Osaka, back to Block A. Tanahashi versus Ibushi. That should be fun. That one should be fun. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Lance Archer. Now, I know I'm not talking a lot about Lance Archer because I don't expect he'll go too far. He'll win match here, he'll win a match there. How many matches he'll win, I don't know. But, again, I don't think he's going to go far. August 4th, night 14 in Osaka, back to Block B. Naito versus Takagi. That'll be fun. Jon Moxley versus Jay White. Ooh, what to expect on that. Who knows? Who knows? I think it'll be a fun match to watch. I mean, I imagine it'll be predominant Moxley, but Jay White, Bullet Club might see some underhand. Who knows? I don't want to think there will be, but you never know. Night 15, Hamatsu back to Block A. You got Okada versus Evil. And then you got Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr. I can't say for sure if Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be able to ground Ibushi. At the same time, I don't know if Ibushi can have Zack Sabre Jr. wrestle his style. That one's a very hard one to call. Will Ospreay versus Kenta. That is going to be a classic. I'm predicting that right now. August 8th, in Yokohama, back to Block B. Ishii versus Takagi. That'll be interesting. Juice versus Jay. Juice Robinson, Jay White. Ooh. Considering that's Robinson's second last match in the tournament, it could get interesting. August 10th at Budokan, back to Block A. Kazuchika Okada versus Kota Ibushi. That's going to be fun. Guaranteed. Heavyweight versus Ibushi. Tanahashi versus Will Ospreay. Oh, that's going to be a sick match. Kenta versus Zack Sabre Jr. Ooh. The possibilities are endless. They got the last match before the final, August 11th at the Budokan. Tetsuya Naito versus Jay White. I don't know which way that's going to go. I really don't. I want to think Naito is going to come out on that, but at the same time, maybe Jay White will. The match I'm sure everybody's looking forward to, though. And it's a shame it's not for the U.S. Championship. The rematch. Juice versus Moxley. If their long-term story booking is to break Juice Robinson, having him lose to Moxley again, I guarantee you will break him in half. As far as up here goes, I think he'll have a loose Juice. I wasn't planning on that one all night. That just came to mind. But if that's the way it goes, it'll be a fun one. And then your finals are August 12th at the Budokan. So for A block, my predictions are as follows. Evil, Bad Luck Fale, and Sonata are all going to have a bad time. They'll maybe come up with one win, 2 points. I'm predicting Okada is going to come out with a clean sweep, 18 points. I'm not really predicting draws. I'm just going straight for the wins. Followed up very closely by Will Ospreay, Zack Sabre Jr., and Hiroshi Tanahashi with 14 points each. Kenta is going to put in a hell of an effort, but he's only coming out with 10 points. That's my prediction. For Block B, it's not nearly as far as my prediction is concerned, it's not nearly as one and done, cut and dry as Block A. Taichi's going to have a bad night, or at least a bad tournament. He's only going to have one win, as far as I'm predicting. Hiroki Goto, Juice Robinson, and Toru Yano are all going to have 4 points. I've got Tetsuya Naito and Jay White coming out with a tie at 16 points. So I imagine, based on that, they'll have a tiebreaker, in which case you could take a pick. I think for storyline purposes, I'd give it to Jay White. Whether or not they keep Okada as the champ from now till Wrestle Kingdom, hard to say, but if my predictions turn out and it's Okada and White for the briefcase on the tournament final, give it to White. You're already starting long-term booking now. I mean, White doesn't necessarily have to keep it after that either. I mean, he could defend it and lose it to Naito, to Moxley, who I think will finish with 14 points. So within the top three for sure. Sky's the limit. But either way, you could make it a very interesting tournament. And as I said, this is just my predictions. I'm not necessarily saying I'm right, but my predictions with New Japan, even though I've only predicted one show, my predictions with New Japan haven't been bad. So we'll revisit this on the tournament final, August 12th. And I'll let you know how I did. Either way, it's going to be a great tournament. And that was episode 16 of Trev's Wrestling Show here on Trev TV. I want to thank you for tuning in. Your viewership always means so much to me. Always has, always will. And I do appreciate you coming by. Like I said, this was a challenge, and I'm still looking at like, did I predict right? Did I predict wrong? Either way, I'm just going to leave my predictions as they are, and we'll see what comes of it. I mean, I'll be amazed if I'm anywhere close to what I forecasted as far as predictions is concerned. But either way, after the tournament wraps up on August 12th, I'll review this. I'll put down all my predictions, how I thought it was all going to fare out from 1 to 10 in both blocks, and see how close I was. But if you like this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you didn't like this video, well, hit the like button anyway. It's all good. I won't judge. If you really want, get back here. It's that little red button somewhere in there. Hit that, and you'll be able to stay up to date with all the content I put out. If you really want to, you can find Trev TV on Facebook at Trev's TV. And if you really want to, if you're super stoked, you can find Trev TV on Instagram at rockstartrev TV. Moving forward, as far as the wrestling show is concerned, I'm not 100% sure I want to do a prediction for WWE Stomping Grounds, since I haven't really been keeping up to date with the storyline progress as far as WWE is concerned. But if you want to see me do one, let me know. Put it in the comments below, message me, whatever, and I'll at least consider it. I still owe some reviews, so those are coming. Just be patient. I'll get to them. Promise you I will. But other than that, in the meantime and in between time, be able to go for more videos from the Trev. Later.